Good evening, I'm Alexandra Meacham. Thanks for keeping it local with NBC6 News Weekend. Tonight we begin with an update. The Caddo Parish Coroner's Office identifies a man who died after being shot in the Highland neighborhood. It happened in the 100 block of East Olive Street Saturday night. Police say someone shot 26-year-old Raymond Grant and a 24-year-old unidentified woman while they were sitting in an SUV parked in a driveway. Both were taken to University Health, where Grant later died. The woman remains in the hospital. Police are still searching for the person responsible. Another update, the Caddo Parish coroner has identified the man's body found burned in the trunk of a car in January. 26-year-old Lorenzo White of Shreveport was found on West 61st Street on January 31st. The Northwest Louisiana Crime Lab identified him through DNA. The case is being investigated as a homicide. A pregnant woman is clinging to life and another man is injured in a Queensboro shooting. Shreveport police say 18-year-old Nazavion Chapman opened fire inside a house on the 2400 block of Stonewall Street yesterday just before 9 a.m. The woman is in the late stages of pregnancy and was taken to University Health with life-threatening injuries. The man was taken to Willis-Knighton with non-life-threatening injuries. Police are still searching for Chapman, who is charged with 2 counts of attempted murder. If you know where he is, call Crime Stoppers. We have a traffic memo to pass along. A part of I-220 is closing in both directions tonight. 220 is closed from North Market Street to Hillary Huckabee until 7 a.m. Contractors are completing road work for I-49 South. Alternate routes will be posted. NBC6 is your local election headquarters. Shreveport City Councilman Willie Bradford changes his mind and says he will seek re-election for his District A seat. He announced it on Facebook today. Earlier in June, he said he would not run again, but says his supporters urged him to. Qualifying begins on Wednesday. Community matters, and each year Krista Schumpert revisits the rocky start of life for miracle babies during a reunion that celebrates their bright future. NBC6's Julius Kizzy is in studio control to give us details. Julius.
Well, Alice, each baby has their own story of perseverance, making a way out of no way towards a better life.
She's perfect. She's big, and yeah, the nurses there, they're incredible.
Year after year, nurses who help birth premature babies invite them for a special reunion here at Krista Schumpert.
There are no words that can describe the feeling you get when, not just that you had a part of that, but just to see the true miracle that they have become.
They are able to revisit the miracle of life, each miracle baby at a time.
There was a time when she wouldn't have survived, that the doctors, the nurses, the technology, they're the reason that we got to bring our little girl home and that she's thriving.
You get to form a bond with them and they become like a friend or a cousin or distant relative, and you just love seeing them grow up.
Nurses like Joyce Smith have been delivering premature babies for almost 40 years.
They comforted us, they told us what to expect, what not to expect, how the process typically works, and that kind of eased our minds a little bit.
To see them make it out of the unit and do well and progress and come back for us to see them, that's what's totally rewarding.
Almost everyone here has been cared for by Joyce, and they come to revisit her at the Miracle Baby Reunion.
When I first came back here, she was the first person that recognized who I was.
34-year-old Wendy Romanet Wood is motivated to become a registered nurse herself, and that dream started the day she was born.
It takes a special person to be a nurse, but when you get into taking care of people's children that are born with issues like that are, on the brink of dying, it takes a very special person to do that.
Because every baby deserves a chance.
When you get to the end of it and you get to bring home beautiful babies, it's not worth it, but it makes it better, I guess. Yeah, we're grateful for the nurses and the doctors here.
Now, every child you saw is invited back each and every year, and the nurses say they can't wait to see him again. Alex, back to you.
Wonderful story. Thank you so much, Julius. Well, continuing coverage, a major development today in Louisiana's recovery. 2 years after flooding throughout the state, homeowners of the Restore Louisiana program are eligible for reimbursement after federal approval. Harrison Golden has more.
Today I'm asking you to consider a resolution that would increase Restore's tiered reimbursement structure for eligible homeowners from 50% to 100%.
The governor's resolution with unanimous approval from the Restore Louisiana Task Force, it's expected to open an additional $110 million to more than 10,000 homeowners.
People who have depleted their resources to get back in their homes, this gives us an opportunity to help them more fully.
Community Development Chief Pat Forbes adds this increase will not change who is eligible for the program, and it will not require any further work for homeowners who have yet to close on their grants.
It'll simply be a recalculation of their reimbursement grant. So they would essentially, it would be a seamless process for them.
But Forbes and the governor say that development should not cloud the seams that remain. Federal guidelines have blocked thousands from getting Restore Louisiana grants because they took out post-flood loans with the Small Business Administration. Federal housing officials argue that homeowners can only get aid through one stream or the other.
I agree that a grant is not a loan and should not be considered a duplication of benefits for the Restore program.
Task Force members say straightening that federal bureaucratic wrinkle is up to either HUD Secretary Ben Carson or the U.S. Senate, where a key fix remains motionless.
I understand politics and I know that it might not pass, but I don't understand not fighting.
Well, a Central Arkansas community is helping the family of a construction worker killed by a lightning strike. NBC6's Susan L. Corey explains they're asking for more than just support.
Nothing extravagant, just a silver band.
Can you see it?
It's the engraving that makes this bracelet invaluable.
I love you so much, always. I mean, always remember that.
That's the last text Shauna Lee Grisham got from her husband, Tyler.
It was a blur.
Hours later came the call that shattered her world.
There's been an accident. Your husband's been struck by lightning. He doesn't have a pulse.
The job site sits empty. Crews finished the water main work Tyler was doing when lightning hit this tree off Coronado Cove. But his wife can't stop wondering what would have happened if work had been called off when the storm rolled in last month.
You don't need to be wrapping up. You need to get in the car and you need to make sure your men are safe. Nobody else has to lose a daddy or a husband.
It's that awareness family like Wade Boner
Tyler was everything to me.
Hope to raise through a golf tournament in Tyler's honor.
If we can prevent one other person from it happening too, it just mean the world.
Reminders of Tyler fill the family's home.
He built this.
But for his wife and 2 young daughters, there's no such thing as filling Tyler's place.
He would work a 12-hour shift, come home, take the girls to the park.
Holding on to what's left and hoping no other family will ever share their pain.
I miss my best friend. I miss him so much.
Well, since Tyler died, 8 other people nationwide have been killed by lightning, including a man in Russellville last week. Well, coming up, there's a bill to address veteran suicide. Find out what this Texas congressman wants to accomplish. But first, here's Josh.
Yeah, we are looking